We give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, peace and shalom to the elect that is pushing this word throughout the four corners of the globe in sincerity and in truth for the edification of the house of Dawadah. This is why we do these lessons. Shalom to you. Hope you're in good spirits. It's your brother Shamal Ma from the DC camp. Nihilism. Word I came across through a video. Nihilism. Let's look it up real quick and we're going to talk about it.
Nihilism is a philosophy that suggests life has no inherent meaning. It comes in different forms, such as existential nihilism, which focuses on life having no purpose, and moral nihilism, which rejects absolute moral principles. Some see it as a challenge to create personal values, while others view it as freedom to define one's own happiness.
So as you can see here, this crazed looking German, so-called German, Edomite, is Friedrich Jacobi. He coined the phrase nihilism. Nihilism, as you heard before, is the viewpoint that life lacks inherent meaning, purpose, and intricate value. It establishes and rejects the moral, religious, and objective truths that often suggest human existence is insignificant. Well, hell. Derived from the Latin word nihil, Nihil, means nothing. That's the meaning of the word nothing. It suggests that there is no objective knowledge or inherent value in the universe. He coined the terminology that nothing matters. You hear it in their songs, you hear it in their way of life. They teach these values that nothing really matters. Nothing should be established. I have my own freedom to create my own universe. I could do things which makes me feel well. This way you hear the word cognitive dissonance, where you harmonize your truth in your mind the way you see fit. This Jacobi was born in the 1700s, and he was a German philosopher. A German philosopher and writer and socialite. He popularized this concept as a necessary result of Enlightenment. The age of Enlightenment during that time, or the age of reasoning, was the period of intellectual and cultural flourishing in Europe and Western civilization. Wait a minute. I don't believe in anything, but this is the age of Enlightenment, or the term or the time period to figure things out. In the 1700s, and it peaked in the 1800s, was the idea that spread more across Europe than any other place, all the way to the Pacific Islands and territories throughout the world. So this became the age of reasoning. Don't believe in anything. Believe in yourself. Here in America, there was a man named Thomas Paine who also coined the age of reasoning, and he came to his own theology of deism, D-E-I-S-M, and it followed in the tradition of Jacobi and challenged institutionalized religion and the legitimacy of the Bible. Deism, let's look that up.
Deism is a belief system that posits a supreme being created the universe but doesn't interfere. It emphasizes reason and observation, rejecting religious texts and miracles. Think of it as a clockmaker god, setting things in motion and then stepping back, which was popular during the Enlightenment with figures like Jefferson and Franklin.
These early founding fathers believed in this God who just create and let man do its own thing. Again, going into the philosophy of you could create your own universe. This is why this is part of the scoffers, gainsayers, and unbelievers. This is part of Satan's idea of you can do, you can make, you can create your own world. God don't interfere with anything. Matter of fact, you could go a step further and say there is no God, there is no creator. It just bing, bang, boom. All of a sudden we're here through a Big Bang theory. So all of these things are connected with the rejection of a supreme being. And this is the way people think. The reasoning, the evidence is all characterized by this way of thinking, this age of enlightenment that promoted individual liberty, tolerance against religion, progress, and natural rights. Its thinkers advocated for constitutional government, the separation of church and state, and the application of rational principles to social and political reforms. The Enlightenment emerged from and built upon scientific revolution of the 16th and 17th century that established empirical inquiries through the work of figures like Galileo, Kepler, and Sir Isaac Newton. We could figure this out ourselves. We don't need religion. We don't need a creator. We can figure all these things out for myself. The most common form argues that life has no intricate meaning or purpose. The belief that nothing is inherently moral or immoral, no objective moral facts exist. The view that knowledge is impossible and objective truths cannot be fully known. The desire to destroy existing political, social, and religious institutions is necessary. And the idea that the universe is vast and indifferent and completely uninterested in human existence. Nihilism rejects the notion that society, religion, and science can provide ultimate meanings. Liberation to create one's own value will not lead towards resignation, sorrows, and despair. An optimistic perspective that if nothing matters, one is free to enjoy life and create their own happiness. While often linked to anxiety and despair, some interpret it as a liberating philosophy that encourages personal freedom and resilience. Whew. The mind of a crazy man. Let's get this first scripture. James 1 and 2. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. But when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in Yahweh alone. Do not waver, For a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled, I was going to say unstable because that's in the King James, as a wave of a sea that is blown and tossed by the sea. Such people should not expect to receive anything from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Their loyalty is divided between God and the world, and they are unstable in everything they do. Believers who are poor have something to boast about, for Yahweh has rewarded them, and those who are rich should boast that God has humbled them. They will fade away like a little flower in the field. In the King James Version, it says, Salah, this is James 1. I'm going to read it in the King James so we all know what it says. Verse 8, James 1 and 8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, because he believes that his creation of his own liberty and his own values would not give him sorrow. It will give him joy. No, the scripture does not say that. The scripture, however, tells you that you must rely on something outside yourself because of your double-mindedness. Just like these Edomite philosophers, our founding fathers had taught us to be unstable. This is where you get the nihilism. You get these people who don't believe in anything. They just true unbelievers in all their way. They don't believe in anything but themselves. You see? Atheists or whatever you want to call them, they're just unbelievers. This is why we should not let the unbelievers have power over our minds. We must continue in what we believe in these scriptures, because this is the truth. This is the way. This is life. Proverbs 3. Book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in Yahweh with all thy mind, says heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Some believe we lean on ourselves to find our joy, to find our way. Scriptures does not tell you that. Psalms 143. Psalms 143 and 8. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto thee. Deliver me, O Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, from my enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my power. Thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. They don't want that who don't believe in a God, in a philosophy, in a way, in a teaching, in a doctrine. They want their own observance to be acknowledged. Their view of what knowledge is. Their view of what moral or immoral objective facts are. Because the world is so big, the universe is so big, we can't completely understand. Yes, you can't completely understand or lean on your own teachings. Jeremiah 17 and verse 7. Blessed is the man that trusteth in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, and whose hope is Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaves shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, searched the hearts. I tried the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings. As a partridge sitting on eggs, and hatcheth them not, so he that getteth riches, and not by right, shall lead them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool. And this is what you become. Desperate fools. Desperate. 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 Lacking any incurable way to get you out your situation. But this green tree that we have in Yahweh Shemel Shine won't be in despair, won't be sick, yielding its fruit in drought time, while others are withering away. Jeremiah 16 and verse 10 says, And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, Wherefore have Yahweh pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity? And what is our sin that we have committed against Yahweh, our power? Scoffers, scorners, who is this God that you speak of? Then thou shalt say unto them, Because your fathers have forsaken me, saith Yahweh, and have walked after other gods, other thoughts, other ways, doctrines, and have served them, those things, those ways, those imaginations, and have worshipped them, gave them all reverence, and have forsaken me, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, and have not kept my law, and you have done worse than your fathers. For behold, you walk every one after the imagination of your own heart, and that they may not hearken unto me, therefore I will cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, neither you nor your fathers, and there shall you serve other gods, other imaginations, other philosophies, and come to the conclusion that nothing exists, nothing is worth mattering. That book don't make me do these things. It don't help. There is no God. That day and that night where I will not show you favor. This is what the Lord has promised. Keep being this way. Where are you going to end up? Searching out your own heart, your own covetousness, your deceitful ways are above all things. What you think is going to happen to you? Made with promises. Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to leave you with this. Verse 48. It says here, Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against you in hunger and in thirst and nakedness and in want of all things. And in that want of all things, he shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he has been destroyed by him. You will be destroyed by this yoke, by this thoughts, by this ways, by this rejection and rebelliousness. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. You can't understand it because it wasn't meant for you. However, this is your punishment. This is your just deserts. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. You heard what Chucky said, this in the White House. He said, I don't care about gas prices. I don't care about the poor. He cares about what? His people, his wealth, his money, his thoughts, what he wants to do. Covetous man, leaning on his own understanding and the way he walk, he's bringing a whole lot of people to death with him. You, however, shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, the fruit of thy land, until thou hast been destroyed, which also shall not leave neither corn, wine, oil, or the increase of kine, flock, sheep, until he has destroyed thee and brought you back to where you need to be in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is the only way you could understand. Sometimes it will be death. Sometimes your family, your own life will meet exactly what you deserve. Come back home. This is where you need to be in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We give all praises. Shalom.